Saints Sergius and Bacchus were military men in the 4th century Roman Empire, covert Christians who were high-ranking officers in the army. Their faith was discovered when they refused to accompany a Roman official into a pagan temple. The two were then told to provide a sacrifice to the Romans' so-called god, Jupiter, refusing and staying true to the one true god, that being the Trinity. Sergius and Bacchus persisted in their dedication to Christ. Realizing that the two men wouldn't give up the faith, they were then publicly humiliated. The authorities had them chained up, dressed like women, and paraded around town. Following this, they were sent to Mesopotamia, where again they refused to give up the faith, continuing to confess the true Christian religion. Antiochus, their judge, had Bacchus beat to death. Sergius may have given in and renounced his faith, but Bacchus appeared to Sergius and urged him to stay true to the truth, that is Jesus Christ. Sergius was then tortured for several days until he was finally executed at Recife. These two men were martyred for their dedication to Jesus Christ. Before their martyrdom, they were publicly humiliated, and now, today, hundreds of years after their martyrdom, they are publicly humiliated in a very similar way. The Romans dressed the two as women, and now others dress the two as sodomites. This terrible, historically inaccurate myth has been rejected by many historians, yet the very idea conceived by John Boswell has allowed homosexuals and their enablers to try and claim Sergius and Bacchus as one of their own. Robert Lentz painted what he calls an icon of the two and allowed it to be put on display during the Chicago Gay Pride Parade. Can it be a coincidence that these two saints, paraded around by their murderers, are now paraded around by those who live in sin and reject the Lord? It perhaps makes this modern day perversion even worse, as it reminds us so clearly of what these two men went through. Saint Sergius and Bacchus were brothers in arms. They fought side by side in the Roman military. They were not homosexuals. To equate sodomy with brotherly love, with a close bond forged on the battlefield, is a perverse and vile assumption. Let us remind the world of this fact, so that they can no longer parade around these two martyrs for an agenda that seeks to enable a sin equal with usury, far worse than the other sins of lust.